Very, very
Taking
cool.
the time, again, being in the moment and taking the time to for things that are important. And often we take time for things that are not really important, and we
Yeah,
don't take the time. So I another thing that has changed my life is starting to schedule things. I'm not a, I'm not a scheduler. Like I don't want to be like monotone, but a few things need to be scheduled to be done because they're important. Yeah,
definitely.
that's what I've been doing as well.
Definitely, 100%.
Mhm,
I myself, that's what I
mhm,
teach. I teach time management,
mhm.
organization. And once a person starts, planning out things, you start to recognize that life flows just a little bit easier. A lot of times individuals don't want to do that because they're like, I plan and then it never goes through, or something else pops up, or this and that. And yeah, that does happen. That is part of planning. Sometimes things do, you know, um, run things off course. But for the majority of time, it is just such an ease of mind to
Exactly.
know, at certain times or certain days or weeks or what have you, of certain things that are happening within your life, it just feels good. You
Exactly.
feel like you have more control over where you're going.
Yeah, and exactly. And I this last year and a half, 2 years, I've never done that before, but I had courses and they were like on Wednesday at 8 every week, and that at 8 in the evening. So because I do a lot with the States, which is not the best the best time for me, but anyway. And Thursdays 1 week and two at 6. And my whole family knew I'm doing this. And there was no discussion. So it was planned, and on my own courses that I teach, it was planned and it was completely accepted. And I've
Yeah,
never done that in the 12 years that I have my oldest is almost going to be 13. I've never taken that time every week for myself to do something
exactly.
because I felt guilty or because, oh, there is no time. But when you schedule it, it happens and they actually respect it. And nobody has ever discussed it with me. So I felt guilty before even taking courses because I wouldn't. And also, to be honest, being a doctor, I had a lot of night shifts, so I wasn't there every evening. So that was also very difficult for me to then schedule something for me on top of it because I want to be with my children. I want to be there and put them in bed. And when I would go to work, I wouldn't see them for 24 hours because they would be in bed when I got home or they would go to bed when I left.
Got
So,
it.
yeah. So that's also a reason I didn't take that time for myself, but I would urge everybody to please do it and look at something that you love and take the time for yourself because it gives you energy
Yeah,
and it gives you the energy to give. It fills you up. And when you're filled up, you can give all that love back. When you
definitely.
don't have love to give, when you don't have love in yourself, and when you don't, it's also the same with self love. When you start loving yourself enough, you can give love without judgment, without asking something in return. Because often we give what we call love, but that's not really love. Right? It's more connection because we want something back. But when you're back into your core, you don't need anything back. It's
Yeah,
nice, but you don't need it.
yeah,
And it will actually come back even more because people don't feel like they have to. When people feel like they have to, they have like everybody has it. Me too. They oops, the resistance comes up, and you actually don't want to. So yeah, that's what I found as well. And
definitely.
I'm actually quite surprised by when I look around me because I've never had a lot of, I've never had self hatred. I've had a lack of some love, maybe, but never like this auto-flagellation. But I see so many women around me that really don't love themselves, and I'm
Yeah,
like, "You're so beautiful. Why don't you love yourself? You're beautiful. Look at what you do. Look at your children. Look at what." So that's why for me my posts a lot they go about self-love and how to start listening to your inner voice and asking yourself, would my friend talk to me like that? If the answer is no, why are you talking to yourself like that?
yeah,
Give yourself some credit because
yeah.
you are beautiful.
I
And when you
agree.
start giving things to yourself that you love, it becomes easy inside, and you can start giving back instead of grabbing onto whatever is left.
Yeah, for sure. What do you wish for?
For myself or for the world? Um, I wish, I actually really deeply wish for people to reclaim their, I call it reclaim your sparkle, to reclaim their sparkle, but it goes much deeper than that. It's like reclaim your inner peace, reclaim who you are, because when you are truly who you are, it's actually really beautiful. Um, and when you can let go of the anger and the, yeah, the shoulds and the musts and the have to, and when you feel what's really really important to you, what are your values. I wish for everybody to feel joy a lot of the time. You can't feel joy all the time
Hmm.
because there's always bad things happening, if you call them bad things, but if things that are not going your way,
Hmm.
even those, often when you change your perspective, you can see what you can learn out of them instead of judging them,
Yeah.
and find this inner strength and be beautiful, because like beauty comes from here. It's nice to have a nice body, it's nice to but the beauty, like you can have a really beautiful person that's actually not a little bit ugly because of the way they
Yeah.
behave.
Yeah.
So, and I would really encourage everybody to go, like the my slogan, my slogan now, my logo slogan, I'm mixing,
That's
but it's
good.
now, it's by Thich Nhat Hanh. I don't know if you know Thich Nhat Hanh. It's Buddhist Zen master who passed away very recently, and he's done a lot of peace work in the world. He was actually nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize by Martin Luther King.
Wow.
So yeah, he's a really beautiful person, and he says the way out is in.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
that.
I think it's really beautiful. And every time I feel like I'm losing myself, it's like the way out is in. And the only thing you can change in your life is you. And it starts there. And it doesn't mean change you because you are good, but change the way you feel, change the way you think, and then you start changing the way you act. And I don't know, like if you want a better relationship, start looking inside, like how can I be better in my relationship? Like with my kid as well, with my daughter, she was often angry for I didn't know the reason, but like there were probably reasons at school and with the siblings and with me probably. And just by giving her more space and just instead of getting angry when she was angry, I would, like, it's very funny thing, I would make strange animal noises. So she would like be impolite and would look or something, and then she would look at me, and then I would go away. And I did that several times, and every time she's like, "What are you doing?" But the pattern of being angry or of being impolite was broken.
Wow.
And after a few weeks, I didn't get mad anymore. The anger is almost gone. Like it's so fun to see change
Wow.
change your patterns, change your we all have these patterns we're not even aware of.
Yeah.
And when you start to recognize them, like we always have the same fights. Why after 20 years do you still have the same fights?
I know. I
So,
have refused to do that.
mhm,
I've actually talked about that. I'm like, I am refusing to
mhm,
have any more arguments about this. We need to find new things to argue about.
exactly.
I said that.
Maybe start singing a song or something,
Yeah.
like like one of the coaches I'm following, she had this advice, like if you are in a setting and you start arguing, it was more advice for the man to the woman, but you can do it both ways.
Mhm.
Start like taking clothes off, like every time you say something nagging, you take off your watch, and the other one knows what you're doing, and it just breaks your pattern. And if you're in public, you can't go very far, you have to stop. You have to stop one way or another. So she gives these advices that are like a little nuts,
Yeah.
breaks the pattern of continuing, or like start singing a song. When you start fighting, maybe just
I
and then
love it.
yeah, then you make the other one laugh, and the fight is kind of finished because maybe then you can find serenity and talk about it in another way. I don't know.
Yeah,
So I'm doing crazy stuff like that now.
I love it.
Mm.
Absolutely. I'd love to take a moment real fast and just acknowledge everyone who's hanging out with us right now live. Thank you for being here and hanging out with us while I talk to Iris. I also wanted to notate for any of you that are listening on the replay to make sure you hashtag replay and let us know who you are and where you're from so we can send you some love. But since we have an audience here, I would love for you to talk a little bit about what you do, who you coach, where people can find you.
Okay, so I started coaching women that yeah are actually me in the past. So women that feel like they don't have grip on their lives, that like they feel like they don't know themselves anymore. Because at one point I was not thinking like who am I, because I've always known for me who I am, but I was like, where am I? Like, where have I gone? Where is this sparkly iris gone? And somebody told me, and I found it so beautiful, so I want to share that with you. He told me, I don't know if you know the Ruiz family from the Four Agreements. Have you read the
Oh,
Four?
yeah, I know the Four Agreements.
So I yeah, I went to an apprenticeship. I did an apprenticeship with them, and I went to um retreat in Mexico with them. And Jose, which is one of the brothers, he said, "You know, Iris, it's like the stars. You know, the stars are always there. They're always there. And even if the sky is cloudy, you know, the stars are always there. And there's always going to be a moment that the clouds are going to go away, and the stars will be bright again." So I found that so beautiful. So your star, your light is always there. Sometimes it's just not only waiting for the cloud, but also getting help, reading books, getting coaching, for it to like the clouds go away and then you can shine again. So I'm coaching a group of women now exactly on that, like how to reconnect with yourself, how to get your power back. And the coaching is a part on how to feel your feelings, how to recognize them, how you have all these limiting beliefs about yourself. And they're actually the ones that make your thoughts, and your thoughts make your emotions,
Yeah.
and those emotions make that you act. And it's a vicious circle. So once you start to break the vicious circle, you can start claiming yourself back. And then there is a part where we go into the relationship with your partner, because once you get a clear vision on who you are, you can actually also start seeing your partner for who he is, because often we have a vision of the person we spend our lives with that is not right, and we don't let him or her be who they truly are.
Yeah.
So it's also reconnecting with them and reconnecting with your kids. So it's a whole, and my the last part, but that I'm still integrating, is how to reconnect with our planet, with Mother Earth, because I feel that a big part of our disconnect is because we're not connected to our planet anymore. We don't know where our food comes from. We don't know um, where how flowers grow. We don't like we're not connected to the place that actually feeds us and lets us live.
Yeah.
So that's why that's the part that I still have to really connect with it. I have a little one. Come here. I have a little one who hasn't been able to manage the hour.
Ah, love it.
Basic schat.
Ja, maar wil je de auto eventjes openen?
Dan moet aan Fokke vragen.
Ja.
In mijn zakje zit de sleutel.
I love it.
We almost made it.
I love it. Absolutely. What was their name?
That's Moana.
Moana.
And my biggest girl's name is Ayanda, which is a South African name.
And
She was born in South Africa. And then my biggest boy, that's Kezia.
Gizia.
Kezia. So they all
Very
have names that are like, yeah, have a link to what, yeah, we have a whole story about the names, but yeah.
fantastic.
Mhm.
So the website above your head area, is that the best place for people to, is
That's
your social media linked on there?
The social media is linked on there. My Facebook page is just my name,
Okay.
and my Instagram is Reclaim Your Sparkle. I've started it, but like I'm still trying to manage all of it because
Yeah.
it's a lot.
Yeah.
But you can go to the website or just DM me as well. And I'm going to start a new program. Like I'm going to do a challenge at the end of August, normally the 24th, 5th, and 6th, just so people can have a taste of what it is. And then my new program starts in September, beginning of September.
Beautiful.
Love to. It's group coaching. So because I believe and I see it now as well that when you're together, you recognize what you feel in each other,
Yeah.
and I can help and I can empower, but also the other women are just, it's so strong to see everybody uplift each other. And that's why for me, my heart is with group coaching at the moment anyway. So
Fantastic.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
What's your biggest wish for Reclaim Your Sparkle?
Oh, I have big plans. I
Tell
would
us.
I would really love to not create create a movement of women being strong, but like you're doing this as well. I mean, it's and it's not only women. I think it's for everybody, but I feel more like I can help women more directly than men because it's you have the same past, you feel the same with your kids. It's sometimes completely overwhelming,
Yeah.
although they are the joy of my life and I I'm so happy they're there. It's just trying to manage everything together. So I quit my job now, my ER job, physician job. I quit it to focus on this um, because I saw so much suffering
Yeah.
in the mind, and that's not helped. Like when they come to the ER, we have people that come regularly, and you see they're suffering, and nobody helps them. So my wish would be for as many people as possible to find joy back. And I think when you start with women, they're often like doesn't seem like that, but they're the boss of the home. And so
Mm.
the ripple effect is even bigger because when you are feeling great, your children will feel it. There will be much more happiness in the family. Your husband will feel it, and even in the job. Like it's such a big ripple effect. So I would love to have a big group, and I would love to do some public speaking as well. So to ignite this passion for yourself, because when you are in love with yourself, you're gonna be in love with everybody else, and
Yeah.
I think that's the most powerful thing that can be. I believe in the power of love. I believe that love is the biggest power we have on this planet, the biggest strength. I believe it's much bigger than hatred, and we just need to rekindle it. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
that's my wish.
That's absolutely. What's some advice you would give to females who are feeling overwhelmed at the moment?
Mhm. Um, that's also start asking yourself, would I love this? Like
Okay.
that's really, really important. Like, would I love this? Do I love this? Um, Stop living your life with a to-do list. Like what is necessary? I started thinking what is really necessary for my family. What they need is my love, my presence. They need food, they need clothes, they need to be able to go to school. But all the other stuff is actually not really necessary. The house, it's nice to have a clean house, but it doesn't have to be impeccable all the time.
Yeah.
For me, if I spend too much time cleaning my house, I don't have time for my kids. So trying to find ways to delegate the things you don't love as much as possible. It's not always possible, but it's so much more possible than you think. Um, and start stopping. Really stop when you feel overwhelmed. Stop. I actually made a really beautiful booklet a few months ago. I actually put it on my Facebook page again. How to stop overwhelm in 6 steps, and it gives you 6 steps on how to stop overwhelm. Make a no list, for example. Your no can be a full sentence, like no. You don't
Yeah.
always have to say why. If you
Yeah.
say no, that's enough.
Yeah.
So that's also the thing we do, we women do. We always feel the need to explain. We don't always have to explain ourselves.
Yep.
Just start following your intuition, start following your gut. If you know it's no, or if you know it's yes, do it. Trust it. Breathe.
Yeah.
And then the other advice I would give is start reading. I read Untamed, which I loved. I read The Four Agreements, which I loved. And then getting a coach really helped me as well. Getting regular support where you can ask questions, where you can get the support you need when you feel that something is not going the way you would love it. Sometimes just talking about it already sets it free. So that's the other advice I would give.
Absolutely. Thank
Help.
you so much.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you and the fact that you came on and spent some time with me sharing your story. I so appreciate you and everything that you're doing with the female community. I think it's absolutely beautiful. For
Thank you
those
for
of you that Thank you. For those of you that resonate with Iris and all of the beauty she is bringing, make sure that you check out her website, follow her on social media, and reach out to her with any questions that you have on the group coaching that she does. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here. Thank you so much for those of you that are still hanging on, listening live. Thank you for being here.
Bye bye.
Anyone who's hanging out on the replay, make sure you reach out. This community is expanding every single day, and we are filled with females who are striving to do better than they did yesterday. For those of you that are new to this podcast and like content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, follow, like, and share. If you have an amazing story to share of struggle to triumph, be sure to reach out to me. I am your host, Sabrina Victoria, and I'm so grateful to be here sharing a platform that allows people to share their truth and inspire others